This podcast is being brought to you by Mike's Merchandise. You can find them on the web at mikesmerchandisebhm.com or give them a call at 205-624-4177. You're listening to the 10 out of 10 podcast, where we take you on our journey exploring cities that are sports hotbeds, primarily in SEC country or throughout the South. Each week, you will learn the best places to eat, hottest venues to visit, and a few hidden gems along the way. So when you visit, your trip will also be a 10 out of 10. So let me tell you about Memphis. Memphis is a vibe. It's referred to by the locals as the 901. When you think of Memphis, you think Beale Street, Elvis, jazz, barbecue, but it's so much more. It's where I got my lucky hat, favorite boots, and made lots of new and old friends. It's where the idea of 10 out of 10 was birthed and will always be special to me. Memphis was one of the two USFL South hub cities this season, hosting the Memphis Showboats, formerly known as the Tampa Bay Bandits, and the Houston Gamblers. Also in Memphis is the University of Memphis Tigers, the minor league Redbirds, and the Memphis Grizzlies. Let me make Memphis make sense to you as I tell you about the 7 times I was there exploring during a 2-month stint of the USFL season. Also this episode, we're going to hear from the only friend I brought to Memphis with me, our guest of dishonor, Tom Arnold.
Yeah, all right, let's talk about Memphis. First and foremost, it was the day after a Taylor Swift concert, so the road trip was her listening and singing to Taylor Swift the whole time. Absolutely fucking miserable. But I was down. At first, I was supposed to drive. Then her dog. I mean, it's just everything about Jenna is chaos. If y'all don't know, just complete chaos. There's never a plan. Just freaking. I mean, I've never met anybody that just rolls minute by minute with their life. Not hour by hour. Minute by minute. She doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
Did you have a good time though?
I mean, yeah, sure. It was my first time in Memphis. Went to Memphis. Went to a Showboats game where she proceeded to stay after the game and try to talk to every single player, and that was quite annoying. I think at one point I just walked out of the car and listened to a bunch of sad music and cried. It was freaking terrible. After the game, we went to Beale Street. Beale Street was great. We had a lot of fun on Beale Street. Met some really cool people. But when we got there, first and foremost, we had to get a hotel room, and it only had one bed. So it was false advertising to begin with, this whole plan of hers.
They gave me the wrong room.
Sure they did.
Not my fault.
She was trying to get my pants, but I wouldn't let her. So like, what? Why would you out of that? No, this is good stuff. So
this is quality content.
Thanks. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I do. I create content for you and your show because I'm always the person that you can count on for content. So we get to this hotel, and it's one queen size bed, and I'm like, all right, man, this is cool. I guess I'll just sleep on this side. Yeah, and so we were like, all right, we'll figure this out later in the night. We went to the game. We didn't. Turns out we didn't have to figure it out because your girl over here is a hot freaking mess. Are your parents gonna listen to this? Should I leave this out? I don't know. But we go to Beale Street. We hang out with some lost.
I want to know what happened.
Yeah. No, you can't edit this. We go out on Beale Street. I mean, first of all, you have to get strip search to get on the street, and I've never had a street ask me for $5. Like the whole damn street's blocked off. You got to pay $5 to go through some metal detectors.
I was very appreciative of the security there.
Yeah, it's needed. Memphis ghetto as fuck. But we did have fun on Beale Street. Well, for those of you that don't know, I am sober. I have been for almost 2 years. 2 years in 2 weeks. It'll be 2 years. But
congratulations!
Yes,
thanks,
that's
man. I
awesome.
appreciate it. So I was the the one using my head during this trip while Jenna decided to tie one on pretty good. We get out to the bars and she's like, "Ooh, I want to try this. I want to try that." Taking like 16 shots.
Not even true. I don't even take shots.
Super lit on the dance floor, just clapping that thing.
That is not what happened at all.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, this is my number one hater, everyone.
I mean, I'm just kind of standing there. They were talking to some other beautiful women. There were some really beautiful women there.
I wanted you to get her number, and you did not.
She lives in Memphis. Like, if I'm not going to bang her that night, like, there's no point in me. I'm not going back. I knew after being in Memphis for a couple hours, I'm not coming back here.
That is true. He said this is the last time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Before I tell you where to eat, what to see, and what to do in Memphis, let me tell you why I was even there in the first place. The Memphis Showboats became a team I support starting last year in the inaugural season of the USFL, when I became friends with their head coach, Todd Haley, and then many other of the players, staff, fans, friends, and family of the team, including the Papalis, who are most known for the Disney movie Invincible. And I ended up being asked to co-host a podcast for the Showboats when I coined the phrase #Carjack Bowl for their rival game. So this one time, while supporting the teams, I made it on the Showboats team bus somehow. And I don't even know, I was just over there sharing my Mother's Day brunch leftovers with some friends. And I was supposed to give the rest of my food to one of my friends on the team. So I asked, can I just, take it on the bus because he was already on there? And they were like, well, sure. And I'm like, okay. So I get on there, and I see a coach that I know, and I said, hey, can you just, give this to my friend? And he was like, yeah, sure, yeah. I was like, I don't want to make, a big scene or anything. I'll just, give it to you. And he, yells out, Meeks! And then the whole bus screams, Meeks! And I was like, oh, my gosh. I had to walk to the very back of the bus with all these people, staring at me. And my friend standing back there, cheesing, super awkward. We were both so embarrassed because, he was literally just a friend of mine. So then the whole bus yells, kiss her! And, we just laughed, and it was so awkward. And so I had to, walk off the bus, and I texted my coach friend and was like, I'm so sorry. He was like, for what? They thought it was hilarious. Well, yeah, I don't recommend busing. That's what I called it at all. Don't do it. Let's talk about barbecue. What was the best one? Everyone has their little opinions about who's best, and, you'll pull it up on your phone, the best barbecue, and you see them all. I thought the best one was One and Only Barbecue. The one I like to go to was in Germantown. And then I also really like Central Barbecue's Jamaican jerk wings, which that's not a typical thing you'd probably get at a barbecue restaurant, but it was really good. And then everyone else told me Elwood Shack. One of the players, Big John, and one of my friends who actually lives in Memphis now said Elwood's. I guess I'll have to try that next time because I didn't make it there. But something that I like to do when I was there was shop. I mean, typical girl, but I was by myself a lot during the day because the games, were at night or, practices were going on. And so I went to lots of areas and found the best stores for you. So you're welcome. The art district is downtown, and I stayed at the Central Station Hotel there, which is really cool. But you can walk to these stores from there. The hotel actually has a train station that comes to it. So you could literally ride the train from Birmingham or wherever you are into this hotel, stay there, walk around. I loved it. I thought it was great. They did a good job with that hotel. But the stores there, they have this old record store, an old cool bookstore, this store called Phil in Memphis, and they had all kinds of stuff. You just have to go. Then if you're looking for something more like the Summit area type things, in Germantown, there's this place called Saddle Creek. They have Tecovas, Sephora, Kinder Scott, Michael Kors, an Apple store. Lots of good things. And then in Olive Branch, there's this place called Wild Oats, and it's a kids store, and the owner's super sweet. And I found lots of gifts for like baby showers and stuff coming up. And if you're looking for Memphis Showboat gear, the one and only place to find it in the whole town is the Tiger Bookstore in Memphis, which they have other, good stuff if you're a Memphis fan too. What to do? There's lots to do in Memphis, actually, but my favorite thing I found to do and what to see there is the Lorraine Motel. I ended up going there 5 different times while I was there. First time was someone took me to it to see, and I was just in awe of it. And then every person that came, I had to take them to let them see. I met a really cool person there, and she has been protesting there for 20 years. So the Lorraine Motel is where Martin Luther King got assassinated, and they fixed it up like a museum there, which I never actually went inside. Somehow I always had my dog with me or didn't have enough time to really take it all in. So that's another thing I'm going to do next time, I guess. But this protester, she has sat out there every day for 20 years because she feels like they are not honoring Martin Luther King by having this museum there. She said that the museum took away her home. Her family lived in that hotel. And she said the best way to honor him really would be to make that a dream center type thing. So to help homeless people who couldn't afford food, like that's her dream for this. And she thinks, she told me like everything in there is fake. It's not even real. And I was like, what in the world? But she was really, really cool. And I would love to like have her on here one day, maybe, if that opportunity came. It just amazes me. Like, I don't know. It's just wild to think, like, we see this, we think, what we see there, like, it's an honor to Martin Luther King, but in her eyes, it's like not even the right way. And she says, like, this is not what his family would want. So, I don't know. I think that'd be cool if there was a dream center there. Like, I'm for that, but it's just interesting. Every episode, we will highlight one place that we think is a 10 out of 10. This week's 10 out of 10 is Cameo. It's a bar in Midtown area, and it was recommended to me by a local that I met in Tin Roof when I was there. We were looking for a late night snack option, and Cameo is just like a whole vibe in itself. When you walk in, they have deer antlers on the wall, so I immediately felt at home. And they have an extensive drink menu, and they do different theme nights and specials. The night I went, there was a tiki night, so it was like tropical drinks and stuff. But definitely recommend going there. Also, I want to highlight another recommendation I received. The lady at the Lorraine Motel told me to go to Promise Cafe, and it was the best food. It was soul food, and the owner has had this restaurant in her family and uses her grandmother's original recipes, like passed down. And that was the best food I had the whole time I was there, 100%. Thank you for listening to the 10 out of 10 podcast. Follow our travels every Victory Monday on YouTube and extra content on Instagram at Genesee Harkness. Until next time, make each day a 10 out of 10. This podcast has been brought to you by Mike's Merchandise. You can find them on the web at mikesmerchandisebhm.com or give them a call at 205-624-4177.
This podcast is dedicated to and in remembrance of Alex Collins.